What's up, everybody? You know, I was trying to find a video on Vara Dark's page um, involving talking about DEI and Stellar Blade. And I can't find the video. I seen the thumbnail of the video on Twitter, but I can't find the video. I typed in Stellar Blade on her page and I can't find it. I just see like a whole lot of garbage, as you can see, DEI is mentioned 11 times, and like, what is this? This is just page one, and I'm sure, let me type in, I'm gonna find again. DEI is typed in 11 times, and that's it, which shocks me. Ex-Sony boss tells gamers not to buy Ghost of Yote. Man, that's misleading as fuck. I don't know if you guys caught it, but it was pretty interesting. One of her thumbnails said something about Beyond Good and Evil, Ubisoft shutting down Beyond Good and Evil Studios. So, I did a Google search and I read the certificate for this page. I don't see when this page was constructed, but I went to the certificates, and the certificate said that this page was certified on October 30th of this year. So they're saying that it's still going to launch, or not launch, it's still being developed, which means it is going to launch. But yeah. Hold on a second, let me see if I can find the part where it says it's still in development. Beyond Good and Evil 2 hasn't stopped development yet, and despite a lack of evidence, it is apparently in the works at Ubisoft I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, I'm sorry. But yeah, and Vara Dark made that video. Let me see. Ubisoft cancels Assassin's Creed Shadows Season Pass. Nah, let me put up Ubisoft. See how many times she mentions it. She mentioned Ubisoft. She hates Ubisoft. Oh my goodness. Ubisoft. Desperate for Cash. Shuts down Rayman, Prince of Persia, and Beyond Good and Evil teams. And this was 3 weeks ago. Let me just bring up my calendar here. So October 30th is when that page was constructed, saying that it's still in development. And this is the 14th of November. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. That would have been the 24th of October. And this is techradar.com. I'm not going to sit here and act like they're like the pinnacle. I did one quick search. As a matter of fact, if we go back, Beyond Good and Evil 2, still in development. The game is still in the works, says Tech Radar. Okay, June 25th, 2024. That's before her video. Yes, Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still in development. And that was in June as well. Yeah, so I don't know, dog. Like, I don't know what Vara Dark is talking about. Like, there's nowhere that says that it stopped development. Like, that's the problem with pages like this. The only reason I'm giving it attention is because, like, these people need to be made fun of, if you ask me. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I think that they're complete dorks. Like, Vara Dark is considerably lazy. Like, she changes all these thumbnails. Like, what's funny? People will call me lazy and say that, I need to do more editing and yada, 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 yada. But it's like, you're missing the whole, you're missing the whole point. I'm not here to edit a video 10 million times. I'm not here to make fart noises or bruh. Like, that's not what my videos are about. Like, you can go to somebody else for that. That's fine. If that's what you like, whatever. Like, I'm into a different type of content here. Like, I might not change all my thumbnails, but look at this. Like, yeah, she's changing her thumbnails every single time, but it's like the same faces. Like, she will put the same face on like so many things, and this is like a common thing. I'm not saying it's the only thing that she does, but or I'm sorry. What I mean is, I'm not saying she's the only person that does this, but like, look at all this shit. How many times do you think she like poses a month for these? Like, and they're the same face, and they're kind of meaningless. Like, like something about this person makes me think that she has some sort of like, and it's not to say that being on the spectrum is bad. I'm just saying like she gives me the impression of somebody who's like on some sort of spectrum. Like her emotions don't fully show, you know. And I don't think she understands that. Time to drop the DEI. Let's watch some of these videos, man. Let's see. Ghost of Yote actress is radical activist, and ex Sony boss says if you don't like the game, then don't buy it. That's interesting. That's not her thumbnail says. Hold on. What did her thumbnail say? It said that ex Sony boss says not to buy the game. You know. And she like twisted to say like it looks like he's saying not to buy it because he does like the ex Sony boss doesn't approve. But hold on a second. Let me see if they'll show me the thumbnail. Nah, it won't. Damn. How do I see the thumbnail? Because I clicked on the video. Ghost of Yote Lee. How? Let me just do like this right here. Has to show up this way. Ex Sony boss tells gamers not to buy Ghost of Yote. Yeah. The way it's phrased, it makes it seem like, the Sony boss is like, don't buy it because, like her and her cabal of like weirdos, like that motherfucker doesn't like it or something. Tax docs prove the Acolyte cost over $230 million. Okay. I don't care. It's funny because there are people that actually really like Acolyte. It got canceled, I guess, before it could go anywhere. But I don't understand like there's been right wing shows that have been canceled. Like the Daily Wire has. Hold on a second. Daily Wire costs for Lady Ballers, that transphobic movie that nobody likes. Oh my god, that shit is $59.99, or is that a shirt? How much did Lady Ballers cost to make? 7 million USD. Wow. And that movie bombed. It was 7 million. Like, no, it wasn't 230 million, but like Lady Ballers was like a whole movie, dude. It was like a movie that is supposed to have the same values as like what this lady believes in, just hating people in the LGBTQ plus, being ultra misogynist, etc., etc. What is she saying about hard drive editor Matt Fresh?
Matt Fresh losing his mind over the fact that people simply do not like his takes on life, calling gamer gators losers, NZs, and saying that we should harm ourselves for not having the opinions he does. I
agree.
Few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider differences shouldn't matter. Like, none of these things should be a...
An editor and writer of hard drive tore off his mask after he made a public call to hire more women, so-called transgender and LGBTQ plus individuals for the outlet. What is the problem with that? Like, that's what I'm saying. People like Vara Dark, they're so fucking stupid. Like, she's such a loser, bro. Like, hire more women. Women aren't hired for quite a few positions still. Like, it's not that long ago that women didn't have the right to vote. Like, it's not that long ago that women didn't have the right to have a bank account. You know, in the 70s, women couldn't have a bank account. They had to like use their husband's bank account. From what I understand. And that's not that long ago. Like, I know I'm 30 years old, but keep in mind, I was born in 1993. So, like, just 20, just 20 years before I was born, I'm pretty sure women could not use a bank account, you know? Like, it's something in recent history, and there's, like, a lot of different, there's a lot of different things, elements working against women in the modern day, not being paid as much as a man, not being considered for the same jobs, like I said, being considered less than, like, it's a thing that happens. And yeah, there should be more women. Like, I want more women in the gaming industry, you know, not women like this, because honestly, she's gross. She doesn't, like, if she had her way, she would be the only woman, you know, it'd be her and Melanie Mac that would be working in the gaming industry in general.
A big part of why you get hired for something. It just should be, you are the best at this job, I want to put you on my payroll. But that's not the mentality of...
I know I'm going to be stopping a bunch, and I'm probably not even going to watch the whole video because a lot of what she says can be just debunked with simple conversation. So here's the thing. When people always use the argument of you should hire the best for the job, like, that is like something like that's impossible to quantify. You know, there are people with like a bunch of qualifications that don't even know what they're doing in the next job. You know what I mean? Like, you are the best for the job is just such a weird way to, like, you know, position it. There are some circumstances where you might find somebody who's best for the job, where they have like the qualifications that meet the standards of the company. Me being in the industry of IT, there are certain certificates that I would need to be considered for certain positions, correct? So the thing is, there might be somebody better than me for a job if they have a certificate that I don't have. But if we're going to a job where all of us have like the same certificate and all of us have the same experience, and you know, there's a plethora of like white men and like there's no women, and you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it would be nice to open the door for more than just white men, because that makes it seem like the company is racist. Like, there's more white people in America than there are any other race in the entire country, you know, and that it is what it is. Like, I don't know what to tell you after that. You know, and when a class that is that is used to receiving the benefits of society doesn't receive the benefits, it might feel like oppression to them, but like, just consider the fact that like these people that haven't had a chance in the past or even now, because racism does exist, sexism does exist, etc., etc. Like, there's no way around it. There's a fucking genocide going on in the Gaza Strip right now because there's racism in this world, you know, like there's no better evidence than that, or like what happened I almost said a couple years ago, but what happens every day with murdering of black men, people of color, hell, even people that are poor. You know, there's discrimination in this world. So like, trying to eliminate discrimination or like trying to ease discrimination by hiring people that are diverse is a good thing. And you can't convince me otherwise, because again, this is a bullshit argument. If we both had the same certificate and we have the same work ethic or whatever, and you hire the other person, you're hiring the other person. You could say they're the best for the job, but if it's the 100th white man and there's no black people, that's a racist company probably. You know what I mean? Like, best for the job isn't very, you know, it's such a loose, easy thing to shoot through.
People like Matt. So over on Blue Sky, he responded to a post saying, "To my fellow dude creatives, the war on women people said wasn't happening is happening out in the open. The culture war is raging, but we are the culture. For women creatives, promote women, produce their work, hire them for your projects and rooms. Women can't win this one alone. There are plenty of women within entertainment in totality. There are plenty of women in gaming, in movies."
She had to like look up because because she knows like how stupid she sounds. Like, look at her looking directly into the camera. There are plenty of women in movies. It's like a fucking quarter of how many men there is and shit. And like, yeah, maybe in like porn, but like, you know, I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, there's more women in porn than there is like in actual Hollywood. You know, and even then, like, you know, now more than ever, I've noticed since, you know, I came up in the 90s and things like that and the like. And I think in the 70s and 80s, like, there was a lot more like sexually, you know, explicit type movies, you know, a lot of like skin on skin contact. They're not actually having sex. At least not to my knowledge, but like now more than ever, women are like, you know, in a lot of like positions where they had to like show their bodies, etc., etc. Like Netflix, I first noticed it when I started watching Netflix more when I was like in my late teens. I was like, man, they're showing more ass and titties than I've ever seen in my life. And you know what? I'm not complaining, but at the same time, you know, women. Like a lot of like where they get in Hollywood has to do with their body image, and less to do with like their acting sometimes. So I don't know, man. Like saying that there are women in like acting jobs and in like different positions and like, you know, looking straight at the camera like a fucking cheap from Mario. Like, I don't know. You seem a little bit disingenuous and you seem like, you know, you don't want yourself to be put into a position because, you know, you're cool having your little YouTube plaque in the background, these 131K subs.
Movies and TV shows. There are plenty of women who have gotten so much attention.
You know what's funny? She said there's plenty of women in TV shows, and then like when there's a show with like where is it at? Star Wars. When there's women protagonists, you know, she's like very, very, very like virile towards them, right? Like, look at this. Buy my DLC. Ubisoft Star Wars Outlaws bomb. Like, Outlaws didn't ever look good to me, personally. I don't know if it bombed or didn't bomb, but like there's things like there's supposed to be stealth in that game. Doesn't feel like there's stealth in that game from what I watched, and I was like, I'm good on that. Somebody else might like it, but yeah. Gosh, where is that? Oh yeah, we were just talking about this earlier. The Acolyte show, shitting on the Acolyte show, which is like comprised mostly of women. Like, yeah, her saying that there's plenty of women, and then like making a video about like how shitty like a show filled with women is. Like, it's crazy. Let's see. Final Fantasy designer trashes industry's uglified designs. Oh, this one's funny. I want to talk about this one actually.
In the past couple of years, we have seen some true.
This is just bullshit. She's gonna say the same thing for like 9 minutes. I'm not doing that. Why won't this play? YouTube being stupid. All right.
Truly horrendous character designs in video games, and that's not something that the average consumer wants.
You know what's funny? Vara Dark saying that you know, there's designs that are like horrendous in video games. Look at this.
There's a new urinalist that pops up.
Shut up. Look at this picture that she posted, bro. Like, I don't know if Vara Dark has the bona fides to say anything about like somebody's like character design or like any sort of art direction. Like, look at her hair. Look at her hair. Like, it looks insane. You know, I think she did it just to like contradict the blue hair shit or whatever. But like, her hair looks awful. Like, look at her forehead, dude. It's like a fucking mountain right here. Like, she looks like a caricature. You know what a caricature is? It's like when people draw like a picture of someone to make it look ridiculous on purpose. Hold on. I don't even know how to spell it. Caricature. Charcuterie. Caricature. Okay. Whoops. Redhead caricature. Nah, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for like something somebody drew at like a fair. They're like showing me redhead characters instead of caricatures. This is more in line with like a caricature. Like somebody just drew a fucked up picture of somebody just to be funny. But anyway. Let's look back at her. Yeah, man, like, you look like shit. Like, stop saying that these designs are horrendous. Like, People like this are so weird to me because they'll sit here and say that these characters that don't really look like real people look better than like the people that look like more realistic, which is like, bro, if you're gonna make a fantasy looking character, like, of course, like, yeah, let me draw a character with like cutesy eyes and like big titties, of course, like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's gonna look better than your average. Like, in my town, there's not that many like, insanely gorgeous women like walking around, but like, they are real. Some of them look fine. They look fine.
To see. That's not what they want to spend their money on. And now, in direct opposition to industry standards, the Final Fantasy character designer Tetsuya Nomura is saying video game characters should be attractive, which I think most of us can agree with. I have a few different things to show off, but before
She thought
I
she
get
ate
into the
there.
topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and look at the older Harley Quinn designs in games like Arkham City versus what they turned her into in Kill the Justice League. It is absolutely grotesque what they...
Let's look at that, actually, if you guys don't mind. Harley Quinn Arkham Knight. So this is because I didn't really play the Arkham games like that. I'm trying to get like a good like close up look. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Okay. All right. She doesn't look bad. Harley Quinn Kill the Justice League. She looks more like Margot Robbie. She doesn't look bad. Like, it's not that big of a difference. I mean, she's like less, like, I don't know, like there's less fantasy involvement in it. Like, she looks less like a fantasy character. She looks more like Margot Robbie. There's nothing wrong with that. Margot Robbie's cute. What a strange fucking, like, I don't know. It's her opinion, but like, what a strange thing to say. Like, yeah, they made her look ugly. Like, interchangeable.
They are doing
fucking moron.
Characters. Never mind male characters half the time now being
this video got 5K likes.
Losers when I just want to see chads. But now we actually have another industry veteran coming out and echoing these sentiments. This is a Bounding Into Comics article. It says, honest question, who hasn't noticed the recent video game industry trend of devs making their characters, especially the female ones, outright unattractive hybrids of masculine and feminine features? And I say this all the time, not every single female character needs to be a 10 out of 10 bombshell beauty. You can have characters that look more masculine. You can have female characters that might be, not conventionally beautiful, but at the same time, when a developer simply wants to make a big titty waifu who's got an absolutely gorgeous character model, that should not be a problem, and that should not lead to them being forced to self-censor their content in order to get it released on certain platforms. Unfortunately, if you look at...
Do you actually believe that like they had to make a character ugly in order for it to pass some sort of imaginary test to be released on like PlayStation, Steam, and Xbox? Fucking strange, man. Like, these people are so strange.
Steam, they do ban a lot of video games. If you look at PlayStation, they do ban a lot of video games.
You know what video games they ban on those platforms? Normally it's like some racist games or something along those lines. I'll never forget there was a mobile game. There was an Android game. I forget the name of it, but it was about Trayvon Martin. You know that kid that was killed by like George Zimmerman? Like the guy who's like, it was like a teenager. He could never have fought like this huge fat man. And like he shot him. Like, and we have audio of him, like, I'm pretty sure we had audio of Trayvon just going like, please, or something, like, stop. And he just shot him anyway. You know what I mean? Like, there was somebody made a video game of that. and they thought that shit was funny. That shit got taken off the App Store. Like, yeah, get your shit taken off. This is a very insensitive, weirdo, fucking moron game to make. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Games where they force developers to censor their content, something I've talked about since the beginning of my channel. That's not changing anytime soon, but
I don't think they force anybody to censor anything. Like, the only things that you can't really make in video games nowadays is like adults only games. Adults only games are like, if you don't know what that is, if you're too young, there was a rating AO, adult only. And there were some games that were like for people, you know how mature is like 18 and up? Adults only, it was like 20 somethings, which was weird. And that's why it doesn't exist anymore, because it didn't make any sense. Like, if you're 18, you could pretty much see anything. But adult only games are like games that like involve like a lot of sex. Like, that's like the main part of the game. Is like I think Leisure Suit Larry was one of them. It was an adult only game where like you could like fuck college students as like this dude who's like middle aged.
we should be able to have ugly characters, and we should also be allowed to have attractive characters, especially if that's what a creative wants to make. It says, though, while it seems that many devs, particularly those in the West, are gung-ho on pushing this aesthetic, for famed Final Fantasy series character designer Nomura stands opposed to this uglification design philosophy, which is something I definitely agree with. I personally prefer seeing attractive characters in my video games. And
what do you think, Barrett? You think Barrett is attractive?
it's always funny to me because there are those within the industry who will say, oh, we don't want to see characters that objectify women and that, you know, make a mockery of a woman just because she's basically naked. And ugh, it's so disgusting to have a big...
This bitch will say that while wearing a fucking long sleeve sweater with no cleavage.
Character in something like a chain mail bikini. We don't want this content to appeal to the male gaze, but as a woman myself...
Why don't you appeal to the male gaze, you stupid fucking bitch? Like, you know what I mean? I hate Vara Dark.
I love seeing female characters in basically nothing.
And yeah, like, since, you know, oppression of women doesn't exist, since sexism doesn't exist, I want to call her a bitch, and she better not get mad about it, because she needs to learn who the fuck is in charge, because I want to call her a bitch because she's not wearing what I want her to wear.
I love seeing them in chainmail bikinis. I love seeing them in tight, short shorts and a...
Why aren't you wearing that?
It doesn't matter to me as long as it fits the aesthetic of the story and it ultimately makes sense to the story. It's time to whip out the meme that I made just a few weeks ago. It's okay to objectify fictional characters because they're already objects. This is...
Well, they're not objects, they're concepts. Fucking idiot.
My philosophy, and judging by the interactions, it's a lot of other people's as well, because it has over 600,000 views and 30,000 likes, so that's at least 30,000 gamers who would generally agree with what...
That's crazy. It's like billions of gamers out there.
I'm saying.
It's billions of gamers out there, and 30K like them. Let's, I mean, I'm not so good at the math, so, like, let's get my calculator out. What is, 30,000 divided by, let's say, 1 billion? All right. Man, that's not even like, that's not even 0.00%. Like, that shit is like 0.003%.
Funny enough, you know, the journos in the industry never get the amount of likes that I do, but, you know, I'm not here to brag. I'm just stating. It seems that my opinion and Nomura's opinions are the favored ones. It says, though, for those who may be unfamiliar
That's
with
funny.
Him,
If you don't know how to count,
for his work
maybe.
Both illustrating and directing such classic Square titles as the original Final Fantasy VII, the Kingdom Hearts series. I mean, he is very well known within the industry, but now he's decided in an interview to speak out against the state of the industry.
No, he didn't speak out against the state of the industry. He was just stating an opinion, which I would like to opine on. Kind of reminds me, I wanted to make a video of this like quite some time ago. Nomura said that he thinks that video game protagonists should be. It might be better if I actually just pull it up, right? Nomura, attractive characters. Let's see. I think this is like a good article to read because like this is like coming from like a neutral perspective instead of just being like a right-wing freak. Okay, so he was recently interviewed by Young Jump about his distinctive character designs, particularly the cast of Final Fantasy VII, which was the first time he designed all the main characters. In the interview, Nomura gives insight into his character design philosophy, an eccentric cast of Final Fantasy VII, and why he always makes sure the main character looks cool. Okay, if you play for Square Enix, blah, 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 let's go to the quotes. When asked about why his protagonist designs are so handsome, especially when compared to your standard shonen manga lead, blah blah blah, Nomura explains the roots of his design philosophy. When I was in high school, a classmate was playing a game where the main character wasn't good looking. They said, "Why do I have to be ugly in the game world too?" Which really left a strong impression on me. This experience resonated with Nomura so much that when it came to designing his own characters, he focused on making it so that the players would look cool and attractive in game. Okay, that's pretty much all we need to hear. Like, this is just talking about the backstory of like how some of the characters came to be, and like Nomura's personal experience with a classmate, right? And like why it made him want to make better looking characters going forward, right? So here's the thing. And this is something that I want to opine on. Like, you know, I am a leftist. I am by and large for like equality. I am by and large for, you know, just overall working together and making sure that people have like a good amount of representation, etc., etc., etc. Like, take this with a grain of salt. Like, and I'm trying to focus my thoughts right now, but here goes. So Nomura's philosophy isn't so bad. Like, as a matter of fact, he's not the first person to have that type of idea. You know, plenty of people make characters with like six packs. Plenty of people make characters with like big titties. Not so much big asses. I don't know what it is about the East, but like they don't know how to design asses. Like, even when I look at Stellar Blade, sometimes when you look at Eve's ass, it looks weird. It's like you can see, it's like they want her to have a fat ass, but like in certain angles, it's like that ass disappears and it becomes more back than anything. You know, I've noticed that. You know, a lot of Eastern devs, they don't know how to make ass. But anyway, what I wanted to say about it, the opine about this is, I think that it's so funny that, you know, it's like I pride myself on making like handsome protagonists and good looking protagonists. All of the protagonists of the Final Fantasy series, to my knowledge, are white coated. And it kind of bothers me that, you know, I said it when this interview came out, which was like sometime in September. And when did Vara make that video? She made it 1 month ago. So like in October. Sometime in September, what I said was, it's funny how all the characters in the Final Fantasy series, especially like the main protagonists, are definitely white coded. Cloud Strife, he doesn't have a Japanese name. That name sounds more like Central European, like maybe Germanic. We have Squall, Lionheart, is both of them with the same like hazel greenish blue eyes or whatever, both white coated. He doesn't look, neither one of these dudes look Japanese really. Like, well, they kind of look Japanese. Here's the thing, if you change their hair color and their eye color, they would look like, maybe Cloud look more Japanese. Lightning, maybe so as well, but they're white coated because they don't give off like Asian, you know what I mean? Like, this strawberry blonde, of course, like a Japanese person could have strawberry blonde hair, but a Japanese person can't have hazel green eyes. You know, Japanese person can't have all this. Like, and I get it. A lot of people, especially in the East, they make characters with different hair and different eyes because in Japan, the main hair color is like, you know, they got black and brown. And the eye color is mostly like, you know, dark brown or just brown. So there's many creators that will make characters with like different eye colors and different like hair colors to differentiate more because Asia isn't really that diverse. Like this is their attempt at diversity, which would be you know, totally contradictory to what somebody like Vara Dark would want because she's a fucking moron and she doesn't understand anything. You can't talk to a person like this because they can't understand context or history, right? A lot of the times, that's why they look like this. Also, it doesn't hurt to like appeal to like a Western audience because you could sell more. Like they never appeal to like say like Middle Eastern people or Africans or like even African Americans. If they do, is very minor. Hence why I say, does Vara Dark like the design of Barrett? Because Barrett is an attractive man. But you know she won't mention Barrett because she doesn't like DEI. You know. And in one breath, she'll say to Square Enix, it's time to cut DEI, but then she'll be like, they make awesome designs. You know, it's so stupid dealing with somebody like that. And again, let me just go back to my critique of what Nomura says. Like, I wish Nomura would make, like, you know, go the extra effort and, you know, try and make main characters that are of color, you know, or like are just Japanese coded more. Like I think Noctis was the most Japanese coded Final Fantasy character that I have ever seen. And his name was Noctis and he had blue eyes. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like they could stand to like make characters look a little bit more different than this. Like these guys like look related and they look like they're from Europe a little bit. You know what I mean? Like they look like they're trying to blend in with Europeans instead of just being who they are, it feels like. And in this era, again, this is why it's a critique. When people are calling, you know, especially Vara Dark stupid ass, like posting stupid pictures and stills of like characters of color, saying that they look ugly and saying that, you know, all, you know, their DEI and all this other shit, calling Tomb Raider ugly and masculine now, like, it's just weird. And Tomb Raider, she shouldn't even be doing that. Like, she's white. What the fuck? She's not even masculine eyes. It's so stupid. But yeah, posting stupid pictures saying that some women look like fat, ugly, and they're not good looking unless they're like anime looking, which is totally strange and like divorced from reality. Like, she's out here doing this. When gamers are out here doing this and making people of color seem like they're just ugly just for being people of color, like that's a bad thing, my G. That's a bad thing. And like you just throw fuel to the fire by saying, yeah, we like making attractive characters. Like, you know, shut the fuck up, man. You love making characters white coded because it sells better. Like, make a Japanese coded character. Do it. What was his name? Yoshi Ishida, I believe it was. Is he like a CEO of Sony or something like that? What he said when Ghost of Tsushima came out, how Japanese people is the game that Japanese people should have made. You should probably make a game more similar to that. I'm not saying you can't have Eurocentric or, you know, Afrocentric or Middle Eastern centric elements to it. I'm just saying, like, it would be more interesting than, like, you know, what you've been doing. It's kind of like FromSoft. FromSoft is pigeonholed themselves into making, like, medieval games, you know, and like that's all they're going to do until they make the next Armored Core, it feels like. Now they made Sekiro was like different, but outside of that, everything else is like medieval or like Victorian, right? Anyway, that's just a personal opinion, dog. What else? Uglified designs. Oh, let's check in with Melanie Mac's stupid ass. She got like lobotomized. I want to see them. I want to see what she says about Ubisoft makes 2B look like a man in Rainbow Six Siege. Oh my god, that seems incredibly stupid. I want to see what she says about Tomb Raider. Because this is like the Tomb Raider fan. Big back lesbians. Oh my god. Dude Raider flopped. I can't wait to like actually look up to see like how it did. Because that's the thing about those two women. They're liars. Like all they do is like say that they warp reality to make it seem like things are different than what they are. Like they'll say something flopped even though it was successful. It got picked up for a season 2. People watched that Tomb Raider show. But let's see this 2B thing.
Rainbow Six does a partnership with... Let me go ahead and dive into this video. You can't tell me it's not on purpose. Trying to blur the line. I'm very feminine, cute anime girl, which by the way, 2B is very petite chested, so don't even give me that.
It's funny, they'll never call like a Japanese. This is why they don't say these games all the time. This is why when they have a Japanese protagonist or something along those lines, like 2B, I don't know if I say she's Japanese. I don't know what the correct thing is, but like this is a Japanese made game, but like because she looks like Eurocentric, she has white hair and it's like, you know, kind of blurred. Like they'll never say that she's DEI or anything along those lines.
Oh, she just has small boobs. People act like the...
I'm not interested in what she thinks about
Ubisoft
oh
version, and it's a man. That is a man. Look at that face. Look at that chin. The industry. Miss me with that. Oh no, that's a woman. Dude, that is a man. He can't. He's so jacked. He can't even put his arms. Guns neat. That's supposed to be a man. Okay. This art style does look really weird with the anime hair. I would have...
You guys should be like complaining more about... maybe I missed it because I skipped it. They should complain more about like Rainbow Six doing these collaborations than anything.
Trying to make the guy hot. I don't know if that's an existing operator.
I don't know if that's an existing operator. Like, you don't play the game. I don't play the game either, you know. So, like, normally I say I'm not going to shit on her, but I'm going to shit on her because she doesn't even know what the game looks like. She just seen 2B was supposed to be like a skin, and she's shitting on the characters, even though she doesn't know the characters' proportions and what they look like.
Or whatever. But they just, why are they trying to make, why do video games current day just try to make their characters not attractive?
You know, again, it's a point that they keep bringing up, but like, what's funny is, you know, they say that this person isn't attractive, and it's like, yeah, because they're trying to fucking look like an anime character, and that shit doesn't work. Anime doesn't always transfer to reality. Like, that's why the Yu Yu Hakusho, like, live action, Hiei looked all weird and shit. Like, I don't know, man. This isn't even worth looking at anymore.
Croft completely unrecognizable. At best, they met that number, but most likely didn't even meet that number because the 10th place slot was barely above it. So, just saying.
This was like a top 10 series when it came out.
Losing even to reruns on Netflix. Them are trying to brag as if this season 2 is because this show was some sort of success.
It was top 10.
Again,
it was top 10.
In reality, they don't know the difference between a man and a woman, first of all, and they don't know the obvious fact that there are only 2 genders. So of course they have to make up other things, and this being one of them. We already saw that it failed to chart at the top 10, losing even to reruns.
I was looking this up because you can't trust her. The animation and writing quality of Tomb Raider and The Legend of Lara Croft has been met with average reviews and some criticism. The series has a 69 critic score and a 60% audience score on Forbes. Some say the animation and writing are mediocre compared to the animated video game adaptations. To the other animated video game adaptations on Netflix. It's no Castlevania. Like, if I had to say, if I had to give a review on Tomb Raider, I would say that it's okay. I don't find myself wanting to watch it again. It has nothing to do with the way she looks. The writing is whatever, is serviceable. Like, I don't think it was like super fun to watch. because there's a larger critique of the Survivor series that I have, where every time they make Tomb Raider in the Survivor series, like the 3 games that they made, being the reboot, Rise, and Shadow, every single one of those games, they made it so Laura was basically starting over, or like they're like, I remember the developers in every interview before, not every interview, but like they would interview before the game comes out, right? And they'd be like, this is the tale of the journey of how she becomes a Tomb Raider. They said that for every single game. And it's like, she became the Tomb Raider in the reboot. She became the Tomb Raider in Rise. She became the Tomb Raider in Shadow. It was just like, dude. Now, in this series, I feel like in the animated series, it's like, okay, she's finally like Lara Croft. Like, she's using her money. She's leveraging her money and, like, you know, her power to get to where she wants. The action in the series was pretty good. I thought the action in this show was good. Like, if anything, the animation was pretty good. But, like, the writing is where it fell short. But, 7 out of 10. Like, I'm not gonna watch it again, but if you never watched it before, I recommend it. That's my review.
So we know the numbers were not good, and even the Critical Drinkers video, I mean, judging by the numbers that we received, the Critical
Drinker is a fucking moron too. He doesn't know what he's talking about. 5 out of 10 on IGN. It fails to chart. This is That Dark Place. I don't know anything about this website. Failed to chart on Netflix's top 10 list the week it debuted on a streaming service. Okay. I'm pretty sure it did, though. It debuted... Alright, so here's a conflicting article from Forbes saying it debuted on number 9. It's fine. Exactly, that's how I feel about it. It's fine. I'm not going to give it a 6, and I'm not going to, like, say that, you know, it's the best thing ever, but, like, I would say if you like Tomb Raider, it's worth the watch. 7 out of 10. You know, it's good. It's not great. I wouldn't give it an 8 ever. I wouldn't give it a 9. I wouldn't give it a 10. Let me go ahead and restart this.
Drinkers video dunking on how hilariously bad this is got more views than the actual show on Netflix. Okay? I mean, at best, here it is sitting at 1.5 million views. So judging by the numbers from the top 10 and the fact
1.5 million views.
That Tomb Raider, the Netflix is...
Well, how many subscriptions does he have? Does he have 10 million? I don't know.
We know at best they met that number, but most likely didn't even meet that number because the 10th place slot was barely above it. So just saying.
It's a lot of guessing.
Just saying. Now, let's go ahead and take a look back at...
I don't think Netflix ever releases numbers unless they're like, you know, the most watched type situation.
This article...
Like Stranger Things.
Tomb Raider, the animated series, renewed for season 2 at Netflix. Now, this was revealed in June of 2023. So, no, this isn't some... It can't even...
What are your critiques of the show?
Tomb Raider reboot lore. So, you know, here's how we have what they looked like in the 2013 rebooted game, and then this is what we're getting now. So, dude, they take, like, Sam Shoes is petite, you know.
What the fuck is she about to say? Because this is a game... I'm sorry. I'm about to clown her. I'm about to fry this fucking shovel-faced bitch right now. Because, look... you know, by her standards, like, you know, and she's like starved herself, so, you know, fuck it, I'll make her feel bad too about that, you know, since she wants to like talk about black women and all sorts of other shit and like how manly people look. Like, Sam is like okay looking here. Remember, this game came out like in 2012, if I'm not mistaken, 2012 or 11, and this is a PS3 game with all intents and purposes, okay? And look how much wider her fucking face is than, like, Sam's right here. And Sam looks better here. Like, she looks better. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And Laura looks better. They both look better animated here because it's more up to date.
Cute Asian girl. And very more, like, extroverted, bubbly. And that was the dynamic with Lara Croft and Sam. Now, I don't even like...
Extroverted, bubbly. Yeah, for like 2 seconds in the entire game. She spends like the majority of that game captured.
I don't like the idea of giving Lara Croft a bunch of friends and stuff, so I'm not even a fan of the 2013 plot, but here you have me defending
13.
it, which is hilarious. I'm in a position...
Yeah, it is hilarious. It means you don't have any integrity, you stupid bitch. You don't stand on anything. Whatever is dangled in front of your face, you're willing to fucking hate on it, and you're willing to say something from like over 10 years ago was fucking better just because you have like no sense of fucking self.
Right now, as somebody who is a hardcore classic stan, someone who says, you know what, nothing else exists except for the classics 1 through 6, even
1 through 6. Nobody likes Angel of Dark. You know what's funny? I think people like Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3. Nobody talks about Angel of Darkness because that game sucked. Tomb Raider Anniversary is just like the remake of 1, if I'm not mistaken. Tomb Raider Legend, I didn't like that game. I thought that game was shitty. And Tomb Raider Underworld was the definition of okay.
Even so, you got me defending Tomb Raider 2013, and you even got me thinking, maybe it wasn't as bad as I've been saying, because when you see it get rebooted trilogy, and what did Uncharted do? It had characters bouncing off each other, a lot of dialogue and stuff like that. They didn't have what it takes, and they didn't have the talent to create a solo adventure for Lara Croft where they weren't relying on heavy narrative they didn't have what it takes to carry the game with actual gameplay and tomb raiding and puzzles and so on and so forth. So instead, they did more of an action.
They had puzzles in Tomb. Look, the funny thing is, one of my critiques about Rise of the Tomb Raider is, and Shadow as well, like in a lot of their DLCs don't involve like expansions that like make the game more enjoyable and longer. They have puzzle DLCs. Like it's like you had to go through this puzzle. Find this puzzle, an extra puzzle in the game instead of like combat or anything along those lines. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, the combat in the Survivor series, it's hit or miss sometimes. I don't like it in Rise because you can only have like two main guns at one time. I liked it a lot in the original reboot. Shadow was cool, but Shadow felt like it was undercooked due to the fact that they didn't have enough like hold on a second, let me see. Shadow of Tomb Raider skill tree. Alright, this skill tree is a lot of nothing, bro. Like, alright, so the green is stealth, right? How many of these things do you think actually like make you quieter? None of them make you quieter. Now, there's some interesting things, like I think one of them it's an underwhelming skill tree. I think one of these allows you to like string somebody up in the air silently, but it's not a great skill tree by any means. Like some of these skills feel like they're things that should be already in the game, just for a simple fact that you had them in old games, but yeah, if you can see the skill trees. And like how you unlock them, like you have to go to certain tombs to unlock some of them, and some of them you have to like unlock them before you get to like the next level, which is common, but like I don't know, like the way they did it, it's just more annoying than anything. That's my critique about Shadow, but it has gameplay, and the gameplay is decent. It just could have been better.
Game with optional tombs and heavy narrative and an emotional story and all of that. So they take a character who is more introverted. And more of a loner. And in 2013, they did actually make her want to go do things alone sometimes. So they at least made a semblance of an attempt at that point. This is Erica, so you have this more...
a semblance of an attempt. Like, the thing is, dude, like, I'm sorry, but, like, it's a reboot. That means it's not supposed to be, like, the original necessarily.
Character, and then you have her, a very extroverted best friend, very blatantly put out there that this is the best friend of hers. There's like someone in the comics, he tried to make them kiss, and that got shut down after the game already came out and all that stuff. And then like now people, but they always, this is so lesbian.
She called them big bag lesbians.
These like porn brains cannot fathom people having friends, so without wanting to do the nasty with them, so that's all they think about. They're really gross in that way. So
this bitch almost starved to death.
Something that is extremely normal.
This one, she like almost starved to death. Like she got put into fucking intensive care or some shit.
Girls, being friends, they have to pervert it. So anyway, yeah. So you take this more like bubbly, outgoing, and then you have like someone who's a bit more tough, introverted. Granted, my gosh, she cried a lot, but still, she still was more get her hands dirty. Then Sam was like party girl. There's even which I'll get to more into that in a little bit. So anyway, they take her, cute,
for severe dehydration,
and turn her into this, which she looks mad, and she's got a gigantic back. like her back is huge.
She's on a meat-only diet and forgot to drink water.
What is this? So they made her gain like 60 pounds. So anyway, like now all of this stuff coming out, it's got a bunch of people, all of these like newbies that try to hijack the fandom that all, oh, but she was always a lesbian, but she was always one. Obviously that wasn't the case. I said weirdos have always tried to retcon, even 2013, because here's the thing, they always want to pretend like Lara Croft, oh, but she always could have been into girls too, blah blah blah. She never was. She was engaged to a man in the original lore, and she was only seen in romantic situations with men in the original timelines. Granted, I always was a fan of what the main...
My mistake, she didn't almost starve. She's on that stupid-ass meat-only diet, which is sure to give somebody a heart attack.
My games did for the first 6, which they weren't going to give her a romantic interest at all because she decided to forego that for a life of adventure instead. And she was very, like, obsessed and almost she was sociopathic about her adventuring and stuff. So I liked that angle, and I never really... But when you actually play the game, you know, which I have multiple times, you know, I criticized the heck out of it, but at least I put my money where my mouth is, and I played the game so freaking much, obviously more than these weirdos. So weirdos always...
She played the game so much and, like, made it seem like Sam was, like, chipper and bubbly throughout the entire game. Like, they were marooned on an island, you fucking moron. She's not getting enough water to her brain.
Be a brilliant idea to take Lara Croft, infamous, renowned grave robber Tomb Raider, and make her manly and make her gay, and knew that wouldn't...
That story, tell me more.
There isn't more. She left me and never looked back. It's complicated.
Wait a second. We're treated to a dull storyline alluding to ex-girlfriend and their breakup.
There isn't more. She left me and never looked back. It's complicated.
So anyway, yeah, this...
It wasn't her girlfriend, you fucking moron. It was her fucking friend. It's her childhood friend, you fucking idiot.
This sound like a lesbian story. Like, it's obvious.
It's funny how she was just talking about, like, you know, what was she saying? She was alluding to the fact that people, like, two women couldn't be friends, and, like, you know, they have, like, she had a close friendship with somebody as, like, a kid, and, like, for whatever reason, like, she's assuming that this is, like, a lesbian relationship.
You know I love you.
That story, tell me more.
There isn't more. She left me and never looked back.
She didn't watch it.
It's complicated.
So anyway, yeah, this video is hilarious that Calla made, and it just... Why I say it? Yeah, this... Why up with...
You talking about?
Sassy, stereotypical gay black man. So they've done that. Lara Croft is crying constantly, just non-stop crying, needs hug.
You know, Lara Croft had a father figure die. She had her father die, and she feels responsible for her father figure dying. And not only that, she feels responsible for a lot of pain and suffering that she's caused throughout the Survivor series. I don't remember everything throughout the Tomb Raider show, but, like, you know, it's really weird how, like, these fucking sociopaths get online and, like, you can't make fun of them. They'll, like, flag your videos. And they'll, like, continue to, like, talk about people of color like they're fucking animals and, like, they're fucking ugly and, like, we're fucking ugly and, like, we're people fucking animals. And then, like, you know, the whitest thing comes out, they're like, oh man, new white game, new Asian game where all you see is ass and titties. Like, oh, that's all they do. They praise it. There's no, like, real substance that they have for the game. Like, they just see ass and titties and they're like, automatically, this is content and this is a win for us. You know, like, it's a sad little existence. I'm gonna just tell you right now, I think that these people are sad, and, you know, Melanie Mac is going to end up getting beat the fuck up by somebody someday that she thinks is fucking lovely. You know, that's normally how these people go. Like, you know, she's going to be like, yeah, I need to know my place. Women, you know, she's too masculine. Like, bitch, you are so fucking stupid. Like, you don't know nothing about the world. Just stay in that fucking room with those plastic Tomb Raider fucking 2 dolls that you have in the background and stay out of, like, world politics or, like, what people actually think about characters. Nobody wants to hear your shit except the 200,000 followers that you have, and the rest of us gamers, the billions of gamers out there that make sure games like fucking Devil May Cry, or like hell, I'll even say Stellar Blade, because we didn't mostly buy Stellar Blade because we're fucking gooners. We bought Stellar Blade because Stellar Blade is a cool game. You know, like let us fucking dictate how the industry goes. We don't want to hear your fucking mouth.
Crying.
Jesus Christ! Like, look at this.
Lara Croft is still falling. Oh, Lara Croft is still crying. Again.
Lara Croft cried a couple times in the series, but there's nothing fucking wrong with that, man. There's something really weird with these people and like not wanting to show any emotion besides be a fucking edgelord. Like, you know, like come on, grow up. Not we can't all be Shadow the Hedgehog. Like, come on, dude. Even though Shadow the Hedgehog has good story and has cried in the most recent game. You know, he's still like a couple steps above these fucking clowns. Oh, we gotta have a stoic man. This bitch almost died from dehydration. You know how stupid you gotta be to like probably have the money that she has and die, like almost die from dehydration because you eat only meat because you're a fucking moron. Jesus Christ. Now, it's a good way to lose weight, but why is she trying to lose weight? She's skinny as fuck. I mean, her face is all like, I don't know what's going on here, you know? Like, for as much as she talks about how, like, fat people are in the industry and how ugly people are, like, her face is kind of, like, shovelish lately. Like, what's going on with that? Look at this. Wishes no peace for Trump. Weird. Like, you know, I bleed politics in the video games too, but like this is like I don't ever make a video like this particularly. Like, what the fuck is she talking about? You got bored with video games? You didn't know what else to say? Got tired of making shit about Veilguard? It's Dragon Age Veil. They keep making videos of like characters of this race that have like very brolic features and like big horns. They're like making videos of like characters of this race that look like that and have looked like that since the last game, and they think that they're doing something that like it's so fucking stupid, dude. Oh, wait a second.
Oh, look,
I love this. I love this so much. I was about to get out the video, but I love this so much. They're talking about the censoring of Shadow X Sonic Generations because oh my god, yeah. Hold on, we gotta look at this like full screen.
Not see her back.
You can't see Rouge's back in Shadow X Sonic Generations. Now, let me say this. I'll say that it doesn't make sense just because she has wings and, like, it just seems like an unnecessary change. I'll say that. But it doesn't affect me that much. Like, bro, I would have never have known this shit if niggas like this didn't point this out. That's how weird they are.
Back and
Amy's holding up cupcakes instead of Sonic putting her hand on her face like a fucking asshole. Like, come on, bro.
so he's kind of like, hey, fixed by lowering Sonic. You did good. You did a good job back there. Hey, did you gain weight? And then now he just says, thanks, Sonic. Now then, tell me, where's the rest of my island? Because
that's actually, you know what? I never heard the rest of that until now. That's actually more in line with Knuckles' character. He doesn't ask how people are doing. He's like he's more self-serving than anything. He's a friend, but like, you know, he's laser focused on his own shit.
So, Sega has already confirmed that the original version of Sonic Generations will still be a localization department. This beautiful girl, Hedgehog, Amy can be a bit obsessed about chasing Sonic. She even claims to be his girlfriend. She's an energetic, here's what they changed it to. A cheerful girl who loves to help others.
Okay.
Sonic.
What is she making fun of? Like, she's always been this way. She's like making fun of her for like being Amy still. Fucking strange bitch.
Her very best. You know, she's not obsessed with Sonic anymore, not in love with Sonic. She's an energetic go-getter with the help of her Pico Pico hammer and fortune cards. Nothing gets in her way.
That's not a bad rewrite, you know. I don't care that she's not obsessed with Sonic anymore. She likes Sonic. Like, that much is cemented into canon, but, like, it is what it is.
It's kind of...
She's not obsessed. Ooh.
I don't know if I'd call her Yondir, but still.
No, she's not Yandere.
Yondir character in Murder. Spooky. Back on Sega Genesis. Sonic 2, the Hedgehog 2 being incredible.
Man, you can tell she's just reading that off of like a card.
I do remember But yeah, anyway, so if this kind of stuff just changes.
What'd she say about Sonic 2?
All 2 games. Granted, I'm not like super knowledgeable about Sonic the Hedgehog lore.
Why are you even opining on this? You know, I want to be fair to you. Like, there are games that I opine on, I don't know much about, but I don't really I don't make it a big thing. Like, you know what I mean? I don't make it a big thing. I don't make too many assumptions, I don't think. And I don't get too passionate about things that happen within the game's changes if they do happen. But being a Sonic fan, a long time Sonic fan, and seeing these changes, I don't care. I don't care. Why the fuck does she care? She's not even going to. Did she even play the game? Probably not. She was too busy making videos for Dragon Age.
Played the original 2 games.
You played the original 2 games. What characters were in them?
Back on Sega Genesis.
Sega.
The Hedgehog 2 being incredible.
Everybody likes Sonic 2. She's saying nothing.
I do remember.
She's saying nothing. So you not played Sonic Adventure? You haven't played Sonic 3 and Knuckles? You haven't played Sonic Adventure 2? You haven't played the original Sonic Generations, which you're talking about?
But yeah, anyway, so if this kind of stuff just changes so much of the narrative of the story.
No, it doesn't.
Especially you already have outlined in this kind of situation, she's obsessed with him. He's like, oh, it's funny. It's just a part of. It's just he's still having his conversation, and it's just whatever. Also, you know what else is weird? This looks better. Why does this look better? Well, isn't this supposed to be an updated version?
I'll say that the original looks funnier, but other than that, I don't care that it's not there anymore. Take that from a fan of the series, and not this fucking clown. What else you got to say?
These.
She's going over that again.
I mean, and classic.
This is Lara Croft, Larry Croft, the adventurous lad, disgustingly masculine. She got some thick thighs right here. I would listen. I'm sorry. I hate to be this person. I said I wasn't a gooner, but yes, I would lay this Lara down. You niggas are tripping. This Lara is cool, but I don't know. I have nothing else to say about it.
Lara Croft's even better, but
she has muscles too, which is fucking stupid. They're just you can see them better here.
I do like Underworld.
Something's going on with this leg over here.
But yeah, now you've got I mean, we all know this. I don't know, encouraging.
Bro, Grums. Post spotted. Yeah, bro. I don't pay attention to fucking Grums. Grums is a moron too. That's all I have time for today, man. Sonic is woke. Oh my goodness.
Sonic X Shadow Generations just released for those of us with the digital deluxe edition, and my time with the game so far has been nothing short of amazing. And it seems that most other game reviewers share that sentiment.
Yeah, this is the best Sonic game
new campaign to Sonic's birthday
since
adventure,
fucking Adventure 2 to me, or Heroes to me.
Detail. But this isn't my review of the game. While I was mopping up S-ranks,
male-female relationship and downstream family dynamic. Activists want to dismantle the family unit. And honestly, many people might hear that and laugh and say, come on, that's being ridiculous. But the more I live in this world and the more I see changing and what people are pushing, I can't help but agree completely, wholeheartedly, that Grums is 100% on point here.
Sonic fans in the chat, normal men. Does this piss you off? Does it piss you off that they're doing it to Sonic, or the fact that they're just doing this right under your nose?
I also want to state here that they're free to feel any way they want to about this game. I strongly believe that everyone has the right to voice their opinion, and I will always stand by that. However, I want to address why a lot of their arguments are in bad faith. To start, they present themselves as if they enjoy Sonic or they're fans. I mean, if they didn't enjoy the franchise, why would they be so up in arms about it right now?
That's what Sonic Generations is.
Not this fucking toucan-beaked idiot.
But yet Sega, for some reason, decided to make so many tiny little changes throughout it that makes the game so much more toned down. It sands the edges off the game and makes it feel...
Oh my god. Seeing it in action is funny, because it's Again, I wouldn't know if she wasn't standing right here. Like, I would even notice that shit. Like, losers. They're all losers, man. They're losers. Like, people love the game. There's probably going to be another Shadow game in the future. They're probably going to close her back up again. Like, they lost. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares what you had to say. You look like a fucking weirdo. You look like you probably want to fucking molest a woman or some shit, bro. Like, what the hell? Give a fuck about Amy changing her fucking obsession with Sonic to just liking him? Cares? Nobody cares. I'm out.